Hello, everyone, and welcome to the weekly podcast. I'm your host, Gurtej Atwal, and today we have our special guest, Mike Souza, with us. Thank you very much, Mike, for joining.
My pleasure.
Yeah, so we have Mike. So he is recognized as Citizen of the Year for City of Tracy, and the annual gala will be on 25th of February, where Mike will be recognized with that award. So it is very esteemed award. Many of us know Mike, his contributions to the city of Tracy, San Joaquin County, and everywhere around. So, but for some of our audience which may not be aware how Mike contributes to the society about his family as well as personal journey, so I'll request Mike to please share your personal and professional journey with us.
Sure. So I'm a third generation Tracyite, born and raised in Tracy, went to school at Santa Clara University and came back to Tracy and started my career here. My family historically has been in the agricultural business, in the beef cattle business, and we had a wholesale meat processing plant. So all throughout my grammar school and high school and college years, I worked on the farm and in our meat plant, and expected that was going to be where I was going to make my career. Then about halfway through college, the markets kind of shifted in the wholesale meat processing business. And my father decided that he was going to close that business down. I was kind of like, okay, now what do I do? My dad sat me down and he said, Tracy is on the verge of explosive growth. This was in the late 80s, mid 80s, 1985, 1986. There's going to be an opportunity here for a real estate business, and we own some land from our agricultural operations, and knew a lot of other landowners from our agricultural operations. And my father had the foresight to say that there's real opportunity here in Tracy, and real estate business is something that he thought we could be successful at. But he was very, very specific in saying that he foresaw a lot of change coming in Tracy. I think Tracy was about 30,000 population at the time, and we're 103,000 population last time I looked, 30 some years later. And he said that we're on the precipice of huge change in Tracy, and we're going to be a part of that, and what we're going to be doing professionally. But we really have an obligation to our family and to our community that we make sure that we be part of growing the community as well. And so, he felt it was very important that we devote as much time as we could to working in the community. So, he gave me the opportunity to get involved in the community and try to make a change, not only with the projects that we built and the variety of different professional things that we did in the community, but also with helping with nonprofits and a number of other different types of community events. So that's what we've done. I'm married to my wife, Cynthia. I have 3 kids. My oldest is 26 years old and lives in New York, is an actor in New York. He's going to be on Broadway later this year. And my 2 youngest are twins, 19-year-old twins that are freshmen at Oklahoma State University. And I have, my extended family is here in Tracy as well. My sister and brother-in-law live here in Tracy, and my other sister and brother-in-law live in San Ramon. And that brother-in-law works with me here in our real estate business as well.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Mike. So you value the strengths of this city, and you have, or your family has, great contributions to this city. And it's a great honor that you're recognized as Citizen of the Year by Tracy Chamber of Commerce for your contributions towards this city, its citizens, as well as I can say towards the whole San Joaquin County. So how do you recognize or value this recognition that will be offered to you on February 25th at a gala that Tracy Chamber of Commerce is organizing?
Well, it's very humbling. I mean, I've had the opportunity over the last 30 plus years to work with so many different people and accomplish so many different things, not only in the projects that we've done, but even more so in the nonprofits and the different projects that we worked on. I mean, we've had a hand professionally in making sure that the Tracy Sports Complex was an idea of mine that we were able to bring to the city and ultimately have constructed. The Northeast industrial area is an area that I helped bring into the city and be an area that fosters jobs and has fostered thousands of jobs throughout the community. And of course, I've been working on Tracy Hills now for over 23 years. And that's something that we always knew was going to be a landmark project for the community. And I think, we're very proud of what we've been able to accomplish in our first phase of Tracy Hills. And, we're going to be doing a lot more in our upcoming phases with the trails and the parks and the quality of development that we're able to bring forward. So that's all great stuff that we've accomplished professionally. But, on the nonprofit side, I was board member of Tracy Community Memorial Hospital and started in 1990 for about 9 years, and was very involved in selecting Sutter Health for our local community hospital to affiliate with and be able to make sure that we were going to be able to have health care far into the future and expand the vision of some of our founding fathers in Tracy in establishing the hospital and forming the Tracy Hospital Foundation, which has supported so many things. My wife and Ann Langley and Clyde Bland and I were, the folks who started the nonprofit that ended up convincing the city to ultimately build the Grand Theater, purchase and build the Grand Theater Center for the Arts. And, we've been working on that. The first meeting of that nonprofit that the four of us had was at our house because my daughter was just born. So that was some 26 years ago. That we started that nonprofit. We raised over $1.5 million to supplement the $18 million that the city spent on the Grand Theater, and ultimately made something that's a landmark for this community. It has been a catalyst for downtown and has really brought the arts to the community. It's brought the arts to my family and brought the arts to the community. My dad and I kind of spearheaded the work with St. Bernard's Church to build the Holy Family Center, to ultimately purchase that project, that property through the diocese, get it approved for a campus there, and raise the money and build the Holy Family Center that you see there now. One of the things that I have enjoyed probably more than anything else is my association with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Tracy over the last 30 years. Not only going from the single club that was under construction when I started working on the Boys and Girls Club on Lowell Avenue, but now we have 8 clubs that are thriving and perhaps opportunity to do even more expansion at the Boys and Girls Club that we're looking at now. And all those things have been done in association with incredible people. The teamwork that's required to accomplish all those things. Some of the old timers, the old legends like Dick Hasty and Tom Matthews and Hank Foster, that I was able to work with in my early years and really mentored me in how to be able to do these types of things. To legends of the current community like Dorlane Thrasher and Keena and Linda Turner and Francis Mizuno and Gene Enos, and folks that I was really able to work side by side with. And all my contemporary people that I work with now, Caitlin Shack and Jason Alcala, John Palmer, many other people that really are just devoted to make a difference in this community. And probably one of the other very rewarding things is working with the staff that we've been able to work with in these various different organizations. I remember many years ago when the Boys and Girls Club was in need of an executive director, and we saw an administrative assistant who was just we knew was a great person, and we decided to take a chance and hire her to be our CEO or executive director, and that was Kelly Wilson, who's now one of the recognized as one of the best CEOs in the Boys and Girls Club throughout America. And to be able to work with Kelly, to hire her initially and help her mold her career and be able to do the amazing things that she's done with our community, the staff that she's nurtured and mentored, is just great. I mean, our ability to be able to work with, my ability to be able to work with all these different people, accomplish all these different things is just, that is so rewarding. And to be able to have that recognized by the chamber is very humbling, and I'm very gracious for that.
So, Mike, the city of Tracy, it is a family-oriented, very close-knit, and always there's a feel of a small town, but it is growing at a fast pace. But I can always see that it is because of you and many like you who are busy at their work, busy with their families, still find time to volunteer or give back to the society. So, as you mentioned, there are many ways, Boys and Girls Club, in many other opportunities around us where one can volunteer or give back to their community depending on their time, depending on their capacity. So, the one thing that you got the volunteering spirit from your parents, they encouraged you, and while working with other folks, like-minded folks, you enjoy it. So, what is your message for school going or college going students or anybody who is listening? So, who may be thinking why volunteering is important? We are busy in our day to day activities. So, what kinds of values you have seen throughout your uh, volunteering time? So, that could be encouraging to somebody. At least they should try once, depending on their capacity.
I think it's very personally rewarding to make a difference, right? And you can make a difference in small ways or in big ways. And it's up to the time that you have to be able to commit. But whether it's being able to give an hour a month or many hours a week, it's very worth doing. And you need to find the time to make that happen. I mean, I've been a member of Rotary for over 33 years now, and that's a service club. We meet weekly, and we do a number of service projects locally and internationally. The Rotary is something anybody can join, and become a part of, and there's great fellowship among the various members by meeting every week and having a speaker come in and being able to just get to know people. And also we're all business people in town and be able to do business with each other. Many stories I can tell you of kids' lives that have been affected at the Boys and Girls Club. Various different people have been exposed at the arts at the Grand Theater, to be able to worship in the Holy Family Center. These are all just, they make a difference, and it is worth making time in your life to find a way to do that. And again, whether you want to do it on a grand scale or a small scale, it's worth doing. It's very fulfilling, and it does make a difference.
Right, no, absolutely. So there are opportunities, but at least one should try them. So it is always fulfilling. It doesn't depend on how much time or effort you put in. It all depends on your availability, but one should definitely get an opportunity wherever they get to share information, share knowledge. Volunteering can be in many ways, like you're sharing, you can be a mentor to somebody, or you can devote your time depending on your availability. So then you are the third generation in this city of Tracy. What kinds of strengths do you see in city of Tracy, or we can say San Joaquin County? Because with your experience, you have seen how this city has grown, maybe from past 50 or 60 years. So what is the growth potential, and what are the main strengths that the city of Tracy has from your perspective?
Well, I think, historically we're a very family oriented community. And I think we need to do everything we can to continue that. But I think one of the best qualities of Tracy in all of its history is, when the community saw that there needed to be something that needed to be done, they figured out how to get it done. And it's, I think sometimes it's too easy in today's day and age, with social media being the way that it is, just to complain about things and to be the person to point out how bad everything is. I think historically what Tracy did is, if they saw a problem, they didn't complain about it. They figured out how to go out and fix it. When our founding fathers realized we only had hospitals 30 miles away and we needed a hospital in the community, they got together and they raised the money and they built a hospital. The same thing with the Boys and Girls Club. When we saw that we needed a place for kids to go, we figured out how to raise the money and make it happen. We did it with the Grand Theater. We've done it with things over and over again in this community. And I think that's one of our strongest attributes. And I think it's something that we've really got to, as a community, work on getting back to. It's not about how we're going to say how bad everything is or how we're going to gotcha everybody. It's about how we identify there's a problem and work with everybody and fix that problem, and make the community a better place.
Right. So, Mike, this is the 60th event that Chamber of Commerce is having. They every year recognize the citizens who add value to the society. So many of us are aware what kinds of values or what Chamber of Commerce does in day-to-day activities or how they kind of contribute in day-to-day lives of every people. So from your experience, what this organization is and how everybody can get value from this organization, Chamber of Commerce.
Well, I think one of the best things that the chamber has to offer is networking opportunities among business owners and business people in the community. So it's a great way. They have monthly events, whether they be coffees or mixers, where various different folks can get together and find out about others' businesses and promote their business and just meet people and be able to network. So I think that's probably one of the most important aspects of what the chamber does, and they're an advocate for businesses in the community as well. So I think it's very important. The chamber is a very important aspect to our community, to promoting our community, and to making our community a better place.
Right. So, Mike, nowadays we are going through a very tough time, or we are almost passed through that tough time, the COVID era. So, this has been impactful on the small businesses. You are an entrepreneur, you are a visionary. So, what is your message for those small businesses, how they should be working towards getting out of this situation?
I think you just got to persevere, right? You've got to find out what's the best avenue to be able to deal the cards with the cards that have been dealt to you. I think a great example is the restaurants downtown working with the city and working with Tika to come up with a way to be able to open up and close half the street or be able to do the parklets, so those restaurants could have outdoor dining. Working with the city again, it's another example where a problem was identified and people came together and found out what the solution is. And so I think just to persevere and figure out your best ways. I mean, I didn't know what Zoom was 2 years ago, and now I use it probably 4 or 5 times a day. And it's just adapting and not letting it get you down, and just persevering through it.
Yeah, and getting each other's help so everybody has their own expertise. So it is always good to ask somebody, and together we can get out of this situation. And lastly, Mike, you work a lot with students, with young kids. Like you mentioned, Boys and Girls Club, you have a great contribution towards that. So, what's your message for school and college going students? Because they will be the next leaders, they will be the future of our cities, of our country. So how do you want them to get good positive things imbibe in them? So what's the message for those students?
Well, I think get involved with your community, whether it's through your school or through various different community outreach opportunities for you. I think it's important too to find what you like and pursue what you like. That doesn't mean that everybody needs to go to a 4-year college and needs to get the best education in the world. They need to find what their avenue is and pursue their avenue. My oldest child is an actor, and it's something that fulfills them immensely, and so they've followed that path and been able to make a career out of it, but has never been happier than finding themselves in what they love to do. And I think that's what we need as people to do, and that's what we need to encourage our youngsters to do, to really find what makes them happy and pursue what makes them happy. And I really think that's very, very important, and anything that we as parents and adults can do to encourage and foster that in our youth, we should do.
Right. No, thank you very much, Mike. So I would encourage everybody to please join us on the Tracy Chamber of Commerce on February of 25th to thank Mike for his contributions towards everybody who is living in the city of Tracy as well as San Joaquin County. He does spare time from his busy schedule to give back to the society. So now it's our obligation or it is our honor to join him at the gala to thank him for his contributions. So thank you very much, Mike. Sincerely appreciate for your time for sharing such valuable thoughts with us, your lifelong journey. It is very much motivational for me personally as well as all of our listeners. So in the end, if any message you want to give to the citizens of Tracy, to our listeners.
I think it's just repeating what I said before, and you know the history of our community is figuring out how to get things done and coming together and doing what's best for the community, and I think that's just a great legacy of our community and something that we all have to work very hard to continue to do.
So thank you very much, Mike. We are always honored to be in this society, in this community, where we have mentors like you, visionaries like you, who always are there to be looked up to and to guide everybody around them. So greatly appreciate and have a wonderful day. To our audience, we will be back with the next episode with an informative topic. Till then, stay healthy, stay informed. Thank you.
Thank you, Gurtaj.